اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن رحمتك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Alhamdulillah, we have tawfiq to continue our study of Kashf al-Murad. We are dealing with the last objection about Allah's knowledge. So this is just end of Mas'ala al-Thaniya. In my book it's page 400, but I think in your edition it's page number different. But just before al-Mas'ala al-Thalitha, لأنه تعالى حي. So the title is قال ويمكن اجتماع الوجوب والإمكان باعتبارين. The late Khaja Rahmatullah alayh said that it's possible to have necessity and contingency or possibility at the same time, but with two different considerations. Allah Mahdi explains that again, like previous cases, Khaja, without mentioning the objections, is giving the answer. So he's explaining what could be a potential objection. أقول هذا جواب عن احتجاج من نفى علمه تعالى بالمتجددات قبل وجودها. This is a reply to those who deny knowledge of Allah with respect to mutajaddidat, those things that happen, those things that have history of non-existence and then they occur. So they said Allah doesn't have knowledge of such things قبل وجودها. Before they come to existence, Allah doesn't know about them. وتقرير كلامهم, and explanation of their idea, their opinion is this: أن العلم لو تعلق بالمتجدد قبل تجدده, if knowledge belongs to something which is going to happen but before it happens. So for example, tomorrow there's going to be an earthquake. It has not yet happened. If we say that Allah knows this earthquake before it happens, قبل تجدده, before it happens, lazima wujubuhu, it would imply that this then has to become necessary. If Allah knows that tomorrow is going to happen, an earthquake is going to happen, then this must happen. Otherwise this knowledge becomes ignorance. So because he knows that this is going to happen, so it must happen. Then it will become necessary. Why? We said this is mumkin. Other than Allah, there is nothing which is wajib. In philosophy, we discussed this many times, that this type of necessity would not contradict imkan al-Murad. So this earthquake, like anything in this world, other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anything is mumkin. But the thing is that something mumkin bil-zat can be wajib bil-ghayr or wajib bil-ghiyas ila al-ghayr. Yeah, you remember that there are three types of imkan and wujub and blah. So this is mumkin, and Allah's knowledge about it would not make it necessary. Although we know that if Allah knows something, it means that this thing is going to happen, therefore Allah knows about it, not the other way around. وَإِلَّا, if it would not have implied necessity of it, لَجَازَ أَنْ لَا يُوجَدْ, then it was possible that it would not come to existence. So if Allah knows that tomorrow there will be an earthquake, it must then happen. If it doesn't happen, then his knowledge would not be correct. فَيَنْقَلَبُ عِلْمُ تَعَالَى جَهْلًا. Then his knowledge becomes ignorance. And this is impossible. Allah muhal. So, because his knowledge cannot be wrong, so earthquake must happen. So if Allah knows about earthquake is going to happen tomorrow, you are making earthquake necessary, although earthquake has to be mumkin. This is no problem. It's mumkin. Bizarre in its essence is mumkin. But we know that if it happens, it means that the complete cause is there and it has wujub al-ghayr, necessity by other, and knowledge is just an indication of what is going to happen. Knowledge is not forcing ma'lum. We many times have said this in aqaid, in philosophy, discussion about jahab or ikhtiyar, that knowledge can never force ma'lum. This knowledge, in order, logically comes after ma'lum, even if in time you may know it in advance. Why Allah knows that tomorrow is going to be earthquake? Or why, for example, we know that tomorrow there is going to be rain, for example? Because this is going to happen, we know. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as the cause has another knowledge that can be contributing to the creation, but that's different thing. Wal jawab. Now what is the answer that Khaja mentions? إن أردتم بوجوب ما علمه تعالى أنه واجب الصدور عن العلم فهو باطل. If you mean by necessity of what Allah knows, that then it must happen out of His knowledge, it must be issued. So this knowledge is going to create it. No, this type of knowledge is the knowledge which comes after ma'lum in order. فَهُوَ بَاطِلٌ. Allah may know things which are ma'lum. Allah may know things that are either necessary like Himself or mumkin or muhal. He can know many things. لأنه تعالى يعلم ذاته ويعلم المعلومات. This particular type of knowledge is the knowledge that is just dependent on ma'lum, reflects ma'lum, not the other way around. وَإِنْ أَرَدْتُمْ وُجُوبَ الْمُطَابَقَةِ لِعِلْمِهِ. If you mean that his knowledge must correspond to the reality, his knowledge must be correct, فَهُوَ صَحِيح. Yes, his knowledge is always to be correct. But this doesn't mean that his knowledge is forcing something to happen. لكن ذلك وجوب لاحق لا سابق. This necessity comes after, not before. It's not that because he knows it must happen. It's going to happen. It has its own complete cause. ما لم يجب لم يوجب, as we say, الشيء ما لم يجب لم يوجب. It becomes necessary by غير, and Allah also knows. فلا ينافي الإمكان الذاتي. So it would not contradict with essential contingency. وإلى هذا أشار بقوله. And to this point Khaja has referred when he said يمكن اجتباع الوجوب والإمكان باعتبارا. It's possible to have necessity and contingency, but with two considerations from two different perspectives. Okay, alhamdulillah, the second issue, second problem, this was about knowledge, also finished. So we have already talked about his existence and then his power and knowledge. Now we go to the third quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is about his life. المسألة الثالثة في أنه تعالى حي. The third problem is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is living. The quality of life is very, very important. You find in all Abrahamic traditions that Allah is the the living. In the Quran, if I am not mistaken, I just use my memory, I think 5 times Allah is mentioned as Al-Hayy. In the paper about life, bioethics, I mentioned. Sometimes Hayy comes right after Tawheed. Allahu la ilaha illa hu al-Hayyul Qayyum. In Ayatul Kursi, for example, right after Tawheed, Al-Hayy. Sometimes even before Tawheed, Huwa al-Hayy la ilaha illa hu. It comes after Tawheed because it is very important quality. And if you don't believe in Allah being Hayy, living, and you think Allah is dead, has no life, then He cannot be someone to whom you can relate and you can rely on Him. You can say, okay, He understands Him. Even if He sleeps, or even if He becomes sleepy, is a problem. لا تأخذه سنة ولا. Not only He is not dead, He is not even sleeping, and He is not even in need of nap. Yes? So He is very alert and very much aware. Because this is what you expect from your Lord. And sometimes come before Tawheed. Wal Hayy la ilaha illa. Because if Allah is dead, then it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 2 or 3. Tawheed of Allah is important for us. Otherwise, if Allah was dead, whether it's 1 or many, doesn't benefit us. We want Allah as a living Lord to be one, not just oneness as such. So, this is very important quality. Therefore, mutakallimun have to explain it. Maybe if you were just following philosophical way of thinking, you didn't need to talk about it that much, because you could say, okay, He has knowledge, He has power, He has will. But for you as a mu'min who also wants to use intellectual approach to religion, certainly you have to explain the concept of Hayy, the living, for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Kharija has just very small sentence. قال وكل قادر عالم حي بالضربة. That's it. This is what Khalid says. وكل قادر عالم حي بالضربة. Everyone who has power and knowledge necessarily is living. Because we don't mean by Hayy unless someone that has power and understanding. What is the difference between a human being or animal or plant and a piece of wood or stone? What's the difference? Why you call, for example, this animal or this human being living, and those things like a stone, wood, you say, for example, I mean dried wood, not a tree. Why say they are dead? Because those things which are dead have no understanding of what is happening to them or what is happening around them. They cannot do anything. They cannot benefit themselves. They cannot harm themselves if they are dead. They are totally passive and just subject to changes which are forced on them. But something which is alive has some level of understanding, some level of ability to change. Of course, I have had 2-3 series on life in Islam, and Hayat al-Tayyib. I have explained that maybe we can say knowledge and power and irada. Because something that is high should also have some level of will. Yes?
But it could be that what we understand is living varies.
Yes.
So
Yeah, the different
our
levels.
understanding of life and living is very limited. We don't even.
Exactly.
So the definition of Allah having life
Yeah.
could be totally different.
Yeah. Normally we think that the life means to breathe, to eat, for example, to reproduce, salam alaikum. But these are not the essential ones of life. These are elements in physical life. Yeah? But when you talk about the core of life, when you distance life from anything which is a matter of limitation, like knowledge. Knowledge, we think of knowledge like mind and concept and forgetfulness. That is not essence of knowledge. If you leave aside anything additional and go to the core of knowledge, then Allah has it. The same is life. Forget reproduction, eating, drinking, growing, dying, illnesses, weaknesses. These are things that come in us when we talk about life, or in animals. But the main concept of life is to be aware, to be able to bring changes, to protect yourself, to run away, to attract something to yourself, like something good for yourself, to try to benefit from the situation. This is the concept of life. So the core of the concept is there in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but it has degrees. This is one of the concepts which has degree. Like knowledge of us and knowledge of Allah is not the same. Power is not the same. Life is also gradual, it's tashkiki. When it comes to some levels, it's so low that you wonder whether they have life or not. Yeah? Because you don't think they can do anything. But there is a little element of understanding and power there. And this ayah in the Quran about the people who are in hell, لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا. I think this is very much understandable with this point. That means they are not dying so that the pain stops. لا يموت. Yeah? They're not going to die and finish. Actually, they wish to die. نادوا يا مالك ليقضى علينا ربك. They say to the patron of the hell, your Lord should finish us. So they are happier to be finished. Yes? But they are not finished. They are not dead so that they don't understand the pain. لا يموت فيها. But also ولا يحيا. They are not also alive. What does it mean? Maybe you say it's a contradiction. Either you are alive or you are dead. In my understanding, it means that they are not dying so that it finishes. And they are not that much alive that they can protect themselves, they can bring some positive change to the situation. So they understand, but they cannot do anything. So it's a low level of life. Like imagine someone who is dying and maybe can see what people are doing around him, maybe can even hear, they call him, but he has no power to answer. Yeah? So still life, but very low level of life that you cannot answer, you cannot do anything. Yes.
Why is it being necessary to actually argue this point that God has life? Because belief in, this is what people believe there is God. So why do we then have to bring forward this argument that God has life? Because anything that doesn't have life has non-existence. There is no existence.
Yeah, but there are things which have existence and they are dead.
Yes, but, okay, they have existence but are dead. But
Like these idols that they worship, they are dead. We want a living God. Of course, Muslim philosophers go further and they say, actually, every being has knowledge, but that is, in my understanding, another way. That is another perspective. That is when you look at it from Malakuti side. Otherwise, I think, in my humble opinion, we should accept that certain things have life, certain things have no life, from worldly perspective. But the way they face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way they present themselves before Allah is different. The way they present before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala themselves, all of them have life, all of them have understanding, all of them praise Him and glorify Him. But the way they present themselves to us in dunya is different. Some of them have understanding, some of them have no understanding. I think it's better to keep these two separate. Okay, so Khadir just says this much. وَكُلُّ قَادِرٍ عَالِمٍ حَيٌّ بِالضَّرُورَةِ. Everything which has power and knowledge is necessarily alive. Now, Allama Hadi, rahmatullah, wants to explain this. أقول اتفق الناس على أنه تعالى حي. People, and here we mean by people, متكلمون, theologians, people in our field, not every person. Yeah? So we are not talking about atheists, we are not talking about people who have no interest in religion. We are talking about متكلمون, about theologians. So they have consensus that Allah is living. But وَاخْتَلَفُوا فِي تَفْسِيرِهِ. But they differ on interpretation of this. Like, everyone says Allah is just. But you know how much Mu'tazilah, Shiite, Ash'aris have different opinions about meaning of justice. So, life is the same. فَقَالَ قَوْمٌ. Some people have said, إِنَّهُ عِبَارَةٌ عَنْ كَوْنِهِ تَعَالَى لَا يَسْتَحِيلُ أَنْ يَقْدِرَ وَيَعْلَمُ. Some people have tried to give a definition which is salbi, negational. I'm not saying negative, I'm saying negational. Yeah, remember we have salbi, ijabi, like sifat salbiya. So the way they describe hayat is this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not impossible for Him to have power and knowledge. Okay? So anything which can have knowledge and power can have life. And then, because we have proved that He has knowledge and power, so He has life. Okay? So, according to this definition, just the fact that it's not impossible. Even, for example, suppose something is like, for example, an embryo. An embryo, maybe you say, it doesn't have any knowledge. أخرجكم من بطون أمهاتكم لا تعلمون شيئا. Suppose we say this ayah means that you have absolutely no knowledge. But still, we say this is alive. Why? Because it's not impossible for embryo to have knowledge. Is it impossible to have knowledge? No. So this is alive. But a piece of stone, a piece of metal, it's impossible to have knowledge, so they have no life. So the one way is this. لا يستحيل أن يقدر ويعلم. It's not impossible that he would have power and knowledge. وقال آخرون. But some other people have said, إنه من كان على صفة لأجله عليها يجب أن يعلم ويقدر. Some people said no. Knowledge and power actually follow hayat, follow life. Life means to have a quality that would require, would imply, would bring forth power and knowledge. Yeah? So hayat is to have a condition, a quality, that then you must also have knowledge and power. These are like two results, two fruits of life. Man kana, so hay, living, is the one who has a sifat, was a quality, that because of that must know and have power. وَالتَّحْقِيقِ. What is the right opinion? We said there are different views. أن صفاته تعالى إن قلنا بزيادتها على ذاته فالحياة صفة ثبوتية زائدة على الذات. You know, there is a discussion whether Allah's qualities are additional to His essence or not. For example, Ash'arites have the idea that Allah's qualities are additional to His essence. And therefore they believed in eternity of His qualities. They believed in 8 eternal things. His essence plus 7 eternal qualities. Udama thamaniya. So knowledge of Allah is Za'id al-Zat, is additional to the Zat. If you go that route, then you have to say Hayat is also a quality additional to His essence that would imply power and knowledge. But if you don't want to go that route, because you don't want to say Allah in His essence lacks these qualities, then you can say Allah is the one that for His essence, knowledge and power are not impossible. He is not, even for His knowledge you can say He is not ignorant. He is not, for power you can say He is not incompetent. So it's a way to just understand how that essence is equipped with different types of perfection without making those perfections additional to that essence. And you know, we said, Amir al-Mu'minin salam in Nahj al-Balagha says, Kamal al-Ikhlas lah nafyu as-sifat. What does it mean to reject sifat with respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? To negate sifat means to say He has no sifat which is additional, which is za'id. Okay? Everything is essence of Allah and different perfections of the same essence, and the only difference is in our consideration. عباراتنا شتى وحسنك واحد. We use different expressions, but there is one beauty that we are talking about. So, at-tahqiq, Allah Mahili says, if you want to go to the core of the truth and the right opinion about this issue, we say, أن الصفات تعالى. The reason I say sifat tahi, not sifat tahu, because as you know, when jam is with alif and ta, so yuksaru fil jar wa nasb ma'a. Whether it is majrur or mansub, you have to say kasra. Okay, like muslimat. Muslimatun, muslimatin. We don't have muslimatan. Fil jar wa nasb, we use kasra. أن صفاته تعالى إن قلنا بزيادتها على ذاته. If we say Allah's qualities are additional to His essence, فالحياة صفة ثبوتية زائدة على الذات. Then we have to say hayat is a thubuti, is a kind of sifa which is affirmative and is additional to essence. وَإِلَّا, if you don't want to go that route, then it would return to the idea of negating فَالْمَرْجِعُ بِهَا, what it would return to and can be reduced to, إِلَى صِفَةٍ سَلْبِيَّةٍ. Then it becomes a negation of quality, which we say it's not impossible. Yeah? So we negate impossibility of having knowledge and power. وَهُوَ الْحَقِّ. And this seems to be the best way, because we don't want to believe in Sifat al-Zabit additional to the sense. Okay, so this is about the possibility and about the fact that Allah can have knowledge and power, therefore He can have life. But قَدْ بَيَّنَّا أَنَّهُ تَعَالَى قَادِرٌ عَالِمٌ. Not only it's not impossible, we have already established that He has knowledge and power. فَيَكُونُ بِالضَّرُورَةِ حَيًّا. So definitely, necessarily, He is living. لأن ثبوت الصفة فرع عدم استحالتها. Because something can exist after it is not impossible. Yeah, we always say أدل دليلا على إمكان الشيء وقوعه. The best reason for proving something is possible is that it has happened. When we say Allah has knowledge and power, it means then that knowledge and power were not impossible. Yeah. Otherwise, He wouldn't have knowledge and power. Now we move to the fourth mas'ala, fourth problem. And that is about irada. Al-mas'alatu al-rabi'ah في أنه تعالى مريد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is willing. Allah has irada, has will. This is a very important aspect of understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What do you mean by having will? And what difference is it going to make if you have knowledge and power and life? What difference is it going to make? This is going to make a big difference, especially for religious people who want to think of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as someone that has control over His actions. We cannot be satisfied with the Lord who does everything, but He is forced either by external elements or by losing His own internal control, and He just does things. We don't want creation to be automatic. We don't want creation to be action of a machine. We are dealing with someone that in every moment is making decision, and therefore, based on how we relate to Him, we can also have impact. Yeah? If everything was decided or everything was out of control, why you have to pray, why you have to be hopeful, why you have to put your trust in Him? It's already finished. So it's very important to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has will, means He decides and then does things. And the best reason for this is that we see He does things at different times. He doesn't do things as soon as He can. If He was doing everything as soon as He can, then we couldn't prove that He has will. But He takes His time, He does things in different conditions, and then He has will. المسألة الرابعة في أنه تعالى مريد. The fourth problem, I mean by problem means issue that we discussed, not masala, problem in the sense of negative. Allah is murid, He is willing. قال, the late Khaja Nasiruddin Tusi said, وتخصيص بعض الممكنات بالإيجاد في وقت يدل على إرادته تعالى. the fact that he makes some of the mumkinat in certain time, he doesn't make them in another time, not before, not after, shows that he has irada. تخصيص بعض الممكنات, not all mumkinat, because we have also mumkinat which are qadim, especially philosophers. Maybe mutakallimin had difficulty before Khaja, but after Khaja, mutakallimin accept, and philosophers have always had this idea that we can have mumkin which is qadim, no problem. Qadim is zamani, but mumkin is zati, no problem. Yeah? For example, mujarradat, they are mumkin but qadim. We don't use them as a point of proving will. This argument uses those mumkinat which are temporal, not eternal. Yes? Something that didn't exist before, and then at a certain time Allah created them. تخصيص بعض الممكنات بالإيجاد في وقت, Allah limits them by creating them at a certain time. يدل على إرادته. This would indicate that Allah has a will. Abu Allah Mahdi rahmatullah alayhi says, اتفق المسلمون, all Muslims across theological borders, they have agreed ala annahu ta'ala murid. Because it's something in Quran, you cannot deny, no Muslim can deny this. Allah is murid, as irad, as will. لكنهم اختلفوا في معناه, but they have disagreed, they have differed about the meaning of irada. فأبو الحسين al-Mu'tazili جعله نفس الداعي. He said irada is the same as the motive. Da'i means what calls for action. ماذا يدعوك إلى العمل? What is the reason that you do this? This is da'i, your motive. So they said irada of Allah is the da'i, is the motive that is there. You know, and in the case of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is the motive? After, careful assessment and evaluation, at the end we come to this conclusion, ilmuhu bil maslahah, his knowledge about the maslahah, about the interest. Because he doesn't want to benefit from it, he doesn't have motive, which is selfish or, so he knows what's the best time for producing the maximum interest. Hakim doesn't do things without reason, doesn't do things with selfish reasons, doesn't do things with inadequate reasons. The only adequate reason for Hakim is to know that this is the best way of serving the interest of others or anyone who is concerned. Yes?
So I'm just trying to see how this manages with if Allah is constant and unchanging.
Yeah.
And then you have this irada, like you mentioned, a certain time and maslahah. But is it not the case that he is constant? It is the maslahah that present themselves in the right form, and then the necessity happens. Just like, we do tazkiyah of our nafs, and then we get the blessings.
Yes.
So Allah in that way is unchanging in that respect. So then how does the irada work? Because, it's because the conditions need to be right for that thing to take place. But Allah is constant, it is unchanging.
Yeah.
Because it is our relation to Him that changes.
Yeah, He is not changing, but He has all the right wheels with Him. You can put it in this way. Because in the end of the day, irada goes back to knowledge. Okay? And this is what Mullah Saqqa also very clearly mentioned. So he has knowledge of what would be the best time, the best condition for doing things. And this knowledge is not added to him, it's with him. Our problem is that when we think of something which is not changeable, we think of like a human being who is not changeable. And this is very bad, you know. Because if a human being is not changeable, it means has no emotion, has no understanding, no reaction. It's like a dead person. But for him, he is not changeable because he has the best of appreciation of the changes. Already, it's very difficult for us to make distinction because based on our experience of change and stability, we want to understand his situation.
So it rather could be that even if the conditions are not right, he decides, okay, this is going to happen to this person, or I will bless this person, even if he hasn't fulfilled all the conditions set.
No, the condition must be the best conditions, but we cannot just say because this person is in the best condition. Overall, it must be best. Maybe this person is not in the best conditions.
Okay, so his irada is very much about his knowledge.
Overall. Yes. Because Hakim cannot just focus on one point and forget other things. Hakim must see what's the best decision for me when I take into account everything, not just one person. So maybe I think we should stop because then the second class will be delayed. So basically what we said that according to Khwaja, Allah is a Murid, and the reason for this is that he makes some mumkinat, not all mumkinat, because some are eternal, but some of them at certain time. He didn't make them before, he didn't make them after, although he had the power. So this shows that he has a way to decide. Then Allah said, all Muslims agree on this, but they have different interpretations. What are those interpretations? Shall we discuss next week. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.